The dinner crowd roared with holiday excitement, but Mia's hands were trembling. She stood behind the counter of the airport cafe, blinking fast to keep her tears behind her lashes. Snow piled outside the huge glass windows, flights kept getting delayed, and the holiday playlist was too cheerful for how she felt. Her phone buzzed. It was her mother. "Mia, sweetie, are you boarding soon?" her mom asked softly, excitement in her voice. Mia closed her eyes. The pain hit like a knife. "Mom. I can't come home for Christmas," she whispered. "My flight got cancelled. And I don't have money for a new one." A silence followed, the kind that breaks a heart. "Oh, sweetheart, we were waiting for you. Your brother even decorated the tree the way you like." Mia covered her mouth as tears escaped. She had been working double shifts for weeks to afford the ticket. Everything went wrong at the last moment. What Mia didn't know was that someone else was listening. At the far end of the cafe, wearing a simple gray coat and glasses, sat Adrian Hale, billionaire, aviation investor, and owner of multiple companies, including the airline Mia had booked with. He was on his way to a quiet, lonely Christmas, avoiding the world as he had done every year since losing his parents in a holiday accident 10 years ago. He wasn't supposed to hear her. But her trembling voice cut straight through the noise. When her shift ended, Mia stepped outside into the snow, hugging her thin coat around her. She had nowhere to go, no way home, and Christmas Eve was only hours away. Adrian approached her gently. "Miss. I overheard your call earlier. Are you all right?" She forced a smile. "I will be. It's just life. Nothing to bother a stranger with." Adrian shook his head. "It's not nothing." Her eyes filled again, but she looked away, determined not to cry in front of a stranger. "I just wanted to go home. But flights are full or too expensive. I worked so hard for that ticket." He studied her for a moment, the exhaustion, the sincerity, the heartbreak. She reminded him of every holiday he spent alone, wishing someone cared. "What if I help you?" he said. Mia stepped back, confused. No, I can't take money from someone I don't even know." "I'm not offering money," he said with a small smile. "I'm offering a plane." She blinked. "A what?" "A private plane." Mia stared at him as if he'd spoken another language. "You're joking." "I'm very serious," he said. "Let me take you home for Christmas." She studied him with uncertainty. "Why would you do that for me?" His voice softened. "Because everyone should get to go home on Christmas. And because I know what it feels like when you can't." She didn't know who he really was, not yet, but something about his eyes made her trust him. After a moment, she nodded. That night, Adrian took Mia to a private hangar where a small jet waited on a cleared runway. She gasped. "Who are you?" "Just someone who can help," he said quietly. The flight took off through the soft snow. Inside the warm cabin, they talked for hours. Mia told him about her humble home, her sick mother who had been waiting all year to see her, her dreams of going to college someday. Adrian shared how he lost his parents, how Christmas never felt like Christmas anymore, and how loneliness seemed to follow him no matter how successful he became. "You're the first person I've talked to like this in years," he admitted. Mia smiled sadly. "Maybe you just needed someone to talk to." He met her eyes. "Maybe." By the time they landed, dawn was breaking, painting the sky pink. Mia's mother was standing outside the small-town airport, wrapped in a shawl, hands shaking as she stared at the private jet. "Mia," she cried, running toward her. Mia ran into her mother's arms, sobbing. Adrian watched quietly from a distance, a warm ache filling his chest. Mia pulled back and gestured him forward. "Mom, this is Adrian. He made this possible." Her mother took Adrian's hands with tears in her eyes. "Son, thank you. You brought my daughter home." Adrian swallowed hard. Hearing the word son hit something deep inside him. Something he had forgotten how to feel. They invited him inside for breakfast. At first, he refused, but Mia insisted. "You brought me home. The least you can do is let us give you a warm meal." Inside their small home, Christmas lights flickered softly. The tree leaned slightly to the left. Everything was mismatched, imperfect, and beautiful. Adrian felt a lump rise in his throat. He hadn't felt home in a decade. They ate together, laughed together, and shared stories. Mia's little brother followed Adrian around like a shadow, fascinated by this mysterious rich guy from the jet. When it was finally time for Adrian to leave, Mia walked him outside. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered. "You already did," he replied. "Being here, it reminded me what Christmas is supposed to feel like." She stepped closer. "You don't have to spend your holidays alone anymore." He looked down at her, surprised by the warmth in her voice. "Are you inviting me next year?" he teased. Mia smiled softly. "I'm inviting you every year." For the first time in 10 years, Adrian felt something he thought he had lost forever. Belonging. He leaned forward and hugged her, the kind of hug that says thank you without needing words. As he boarded the jet to return to the city, Mia's voice echoed behind him. "Adrian. Merry Christmas." He turned with a gentle smile. "Merry Christmas, Mia." Strong, inspiring message to end the video. Sometimes the richest people in the world are the ones who learn how to give. And sometimes the poorest in the world are rich in the ways that truly matter: love, family, kindness. Christmas isn't about money, flights, or gifts. It's about reminding someone they are not alone. Snowflakes drifted softly outside Mia's window as she sat at the kitchen table sipping warm tea. Her mother hummed while preparing breakfast, and her younger brother darted around the house placing ornaments he felt were missing. The home buzzed with warmth, a kind she had almost forgotten. But her thoughts kept drifting to Adrian. She replayed everything: the snow-covered airport, his quiet voice, the unexpected kindness of a man who seemed to carry the weight of the world in his eyes. It felt unreal. Magical. Impossible. Her mother noticed her staring out the window. "Thinking about the young man who brought you home?" she asked gently. Mia's cheeks warmed. "He was just being kind, Mom. But he looked at you like your presence meant something." Mia hugged her arms around herself, torn between embarrassment and the flutter she couldn't name. "I don't think someone like him, someone so important, would think about me again." "Oh, sweetheart," her mother said, tapping her shoulder, "importance is measured in the heart, not in bank accounts." Before Mia could reply, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She hesitated, then answered. "Mia. It's Adrian." Her heart skipped a beat. "Oh. Hi. I mean, hello, sorry, I didn't expect." He chuckled softly, the sound warm even through the phone. "I wanted to make sure you reached safely. And to thank you again for letting me spend Christmas morning with your family." "You don't have to thank me," she said. "We were happy to have you." There was a pause. "I was thinking," Adrian said. "I'll be in your area today for business, actually, partly because I wanted to see you again. Would you like to meet?" For a moment Mia forgot how to breathe. "Yes," she whispered. A new beginning. Mia waited outside a small cafe in town, watching cars pass and trying to calm her racing heart. When Adrian's car stopped in front of her, she realized he wasn't in a limousine, just a simple black sedan. He stepped out, wearing a charcoal coat and a shy smile that made him look less like a billionaire and more like a man trying to begin again. "You look happier here," he said. "It feels like home again," Mia replied. They sat inside the cafe, where the air smelled of cinnamon and warm bread. Adrian stirred his coffee, hesitating. "I didn't come here just to talk," he finally said. "I wanted to show you something." He slid a small envelope across the table. Mia frowned and opened it slowly. Inside was a letter with a college logo, the one she had dreamed of attending for years. What is this?" "It's a recommendation letter," he said. "From me. For a full scholarship program my company sponsors." Mia stared at him, stunned. "But why?" "Because you're brilliant, Mia. I could tell in the way you spoke about your dreams. You deserve a chance." Tears blurred her vision. "I don't know how to repay you." "You already have," he said softly. "Your family gave me something I didn't even know I needed." "What's that?" He looked up, his eyes vulnerable. "Warmth. The secret he hides." Later that day, They drove through the snow-covered countryside. Adrian seemed more relaxed than the day before, almost lighter. But there was a moment, one small moment, when Mia mentioned Christmas traditions, and the air shifted. He stared at the road with a haunted look. "I never celebrated again after my parents passed," he said quietly. "It was Christmas Eve. A car accident. I was supposed to be with them but I was working." Mia's heart squeezed. "Adrian. I'm so sorry. I spent years building an empire," he continued. But nothing filled the empty space. She reached out, placing a hand over his. "You're not alone anymore." He blinked, surprised by her touch, then gently held her fingers for a moment. The offer that changes everything. That evening, as they returned to her street, Adrian parked outside her house but made no move to leave. Instead, he looked at her with an intensity that made her breath catch. "Mia. I don't want this to be the last day we see each other." "It doesn't have to be," she whispered. He nodded, gathering courage. "I want to help you build the life you dream of. Not because I pity you, but because I believe in you. Will you consider working with me? I can offer you a position at my company, training, education support, everything you need." Mia's eyes widened. "But I'm just a waitress." "No," he said firmly. "You're someone who hasn't been given a real chance yet." She swallowed hard, overwhelmed. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll think about it. Say you'll let me be part of your future, even if just as a mentor." Her heart thudded. She had never imagined her life taking a turn like this. She didn't know where this connection between them would lead, friendship, opportunity, or something deeper, but she felt it growing. "I'll think about it," she said softly. Adrian smiled, relieved. "That's all I wanted." A soft goodbye. As she stepped out of the car, he called her name. "Mia." She turned. "Merry Christmas, again." This time his voice wasn't lonely. It held hope. She smiled, her breath turning to mist in the cold air. "Merry Christmas, Adrian." He drove away slowly, but neither of them knew that what started as a chance encounter would soon become the most important part of their lives. And Christmas would never be the same again.